So many people, including myself, at one point in my life love to see wild animals up close. However, you have to remember that these wild animals are dangerous and could be potentially very harmful to humans. So how do we accomplish this task of seeing and even petting these animals up close while being safe? The answer is zoos and what people call tiger sanctuaries. Did you know that according to the World Animal Protection that tigers are endangered species? Due to an increase in hunting and poaching as well as heightened climate change during the 20th century, global tiger populations have dwindled significantly. While yes, there are countless more animal species that many of them are locked up in captivity as well, due to the length of the speech, I'll keep focused on wild tigers, specifically Bengal tigers. Yes, I know this is very hard to do, but put yourself in a tiger's shoes and realize that this is wrong. Over the next 5 minutes, I'll justify why wild tigers should not be kept in cages due to their unfair treatment and lack of regulations and injustice to their own life as a wild animal. Another statistic you probably didn't know, according to World Animal Protection, tigers are solitary creatures. In the wild, an individual might have 5 to 60-mile territory to roam. This fact emphasizes the terrible conditions on China's big cat facilities, which resemble factory farms. In such facilities, dozens of Bengal tigers are kept in small cages measuring approximately 13 by 23 feet. These tigers are all cramped up in small places like this does not give them the proper spacing each one needs to live a normal life. Put yourself in their position, if you can. Wild Bengal tigers, amongst other species, are literally using the bathroom on one another, attacking one another for pieces of meat when it's feeding time, and sleeping piled up amongst each other. So why do we treat these wild, beautiful animals so poorly when we know it's wrong? It is simple. The answer is money. It's all about the money. Yes, large corporations such as zoos and rescue facilities make millions off of displaying these beautiful wild animals, but at what cost? It is stripping these animals of their free will and lives just for a little human entertainment. The people who work at these facilities claim they love these animals, but I find that very hard to be true. If they truly love these animals, they would not be stripping them from their natural habitat and breeding them at an unhealthy rate, in which many of these animals end up with defects or dying due to an unnatural start of life. To prove my point, according to One Green Planet, lives of animals in the wild versus captivity are literally worlds apart, and even the best captivity facilities cannot recreate the conditions of the wild. Most don't even try. Leaving animals in tiny enclosures with no socialization, enrichment, or joy. Captivity is unnatural and unhealthy. People are starting to recognize the danger of continuing these practices, but there is a long way to go. Something else that needs much attention and for many years has been swept under the rug is the lack of regulation and just how easy it is for normal people like you and me to get their hands on exotic animals when they have zero idea how much attention these animals need and just how difficult and expensive it is to keep up with them. According to Teen Vogue, an article written on why it is too easy for people to get these exotic animals such as tigers, it states, though it's not exactly clear how long roadside zoos have been operating across the United States, their bad reputation dates back to at least 1990, when an LA Times article referenced them as one of the worst places experts said an animal could end up. According to Guna, undercover investigations by the Humane Society of the United States and People for Ethical Treatment of Animals, otherwise known as PETA, have exposed multiple cases of animal abuse. Still, it's pretty easy for these roadside businesses and private owners to get exotic animals, easier than they say it should be. One of the most famous people to get his hands on and breed these exotic cats at an alarming rate was no other than Joe Exotic, who even had a documentary aired on him which came out earlier this year in March, covering the behind the scenes on his zoo and how wrong they were treating these tigers. To put in perspective just how many tigers are living in cages compared to the wild, the Netflix documentary stated, and was restated in the article by Teen Vogue, that there are more tigers in captivity in the United States alone than in the wild. It is a fact. Tiger King even mentions at the end of the series 2, National Geographic notes that there is only 3,900 wild tigers versus an estimated 5,000 to 10,000 in captivity. Plain and simple, these tigers need to be freed and let back into their natural habitats to live a normal life and repopulate themselves in a natural, unforced manner. To sum this up, plain and simple, a house is not a home. Just because these animals are surviving does not mean that they're thriving or much less even happy at all. Stated in the World Animal Protection, every day thousands of wild animals are captured or born into captivity just to become pets and a money attraction for people who do not care for these animals whatsoever and just see them as a dollar sign. Tigers are no exception. Our houses are not suitable homes for wild animals such as tigers. You wouldn't want your child locked away in a cage all day or separated from his family just to gain a little attention. So as hard as this may be, put yourself in their shoes. Think of yourself as a tiger. The treatment in captivity is wrong, and it is obvious. Even people who are for zoos and rescue facilities, when in reality these animals are in no need of rescue from their natural homes, know that these animals deserve better, and what is better is simple. Return them home. Let them live the rest of their lives how they're supposed to be, free. It is the right thing to do.